Buddy, I wanted to talk to the world about the man and woman relationships we have in the present ages. What shocked me today, and I'm pretty sure most of you already know, is about that Morocco teen that got raped and forced to marry her rapist, and she couldn't take it and she suicided. I just can't comprehend how we can have such laws in the ages that we live in right now. I mean, is it alright to submit to this kind of justice just because your religion tells you to do so? It doesn't matter if you're Islamic or you're a Christian or whatever. This breaks the whole concept of having any human rights. I mean, if we're forced to do such things in our countries, can we even be taken for human beings? I mean, what's the difference between us and animals, for example? You can force an animal to do something, but a human should be completely free. And I want to show my full support to the women in all the Islamic countries and in all the Christian countries, because I've also heard very disturbing reports that this kind of justice is not only in the Middle East countries, but there's also cases where this occurs in a Christian country. So it's not something that's isolated to a specific region on Earth. So we all must fight against this kind of injustice towards the humans, because it's just not righteous to allow this. If there is such law that would force you to marry a rapist who's raped you, I mean, this kind of laws should be fought with all we got, because it's not human to do such things. And when women are forced to just sit idle and obey laws that go against their nature and their hearts, it's no wonder that they would choose suicide instead of obeying such cruel laws. So all you women right there over the world, if you're forced to obey such religion or other Christian or maybe even democratic laws, I don't know the laws, but you shouldn't just stand by. I mean, if you have a friend, take your friends. If you have a family, take your family, or anyone that supports you, and just gather with the rest of the women and start protesting. And don't just sit idle. If you want your fate to change, you just have to push, or otherwise you're gonna stay in the same situation, and it's not gonna get any better for the rest of us. And this girl's suicide would have been for nothing. I see now that the women in Morocco are very eager to change their laws right now, and they're doing a lot of things, but this shouldn't happen just on a country scale. We should definitely try to to make this on a global scale everywhere that such laws might exist or are being thought of put in the future. Because I keep reading that in the USA some politicians would try to enforce such cruel laws onto the people, and that's just unhuman. That's totally stupid and ignorant. No one should stand by and just watch how the government or their religion just forces them to do something that they do not want to do. I mean, this goes against the whole concept of having a free country, having a religion that's beautiful, for example, if you want to call it that way. But I don't think God or Allah or Buddha or whatever would ever want you to be bound by such cruel laws. I mean, I don't think this was ever the concept of the religions. And if there is anything written in the present religious books, I don't think that when the gods or the prophets or people or whatever you want to call it, when they gave their religion to humanity, I don't think they meant for this kind of stuff to be in the present books. So whatever interpretation of being raped and having to marry a rapist is in the present days, I think that we should fight against that with all of our might, because it's not right. And just do whatever you can to fight that. Take your family, take whoever supports you, join groups, join communities, join organization that would help you get you the freedom to live the way you want to live on earth. And I also wanted to talk about the general relationship between a man and a woman right now in our age. And I think that many things are wrong right now. If you type in a Google statistics for a rape, you would get the third site reign or something. And when I opened it, I was literally horrified by the statistics. Every 2 seconds, someone in the USA is getting sexually assaulted. And I just can't think how less would that be on a global scale on the whole earth. Maybe it will be less than 30 seconds. So think about it. Every 30 seconds, someone is getting raped. Is that right? Should we just stand by and do nothing about it? Should we just go with the flow and pretend like it's never gonna happen to us? And that if something like that hasn't happened to us, we shouldn't care? That's wrong. All the people on earth are equally right to want to have equal freedom, and it's just not right to allow some people to suffer. And what I want to say is that the relationships between man and a woman should change on a grand scale. It's not just the culture, the education. Men and women themselves should start to change. And what do I mean? For example, men have to start caring a lot more about women, because we should not take women like a sex object or a tool for a satisfaction or a way to get out of prison. And men should just try to be more honorable when they act towards women. They should treat women with respect, with dignity. They should try to win them with good deeds, not how handsome they are or stuff like that. And women, on the other hand, they could start changing in such a way that they can demand more from a man, not just to be rich and to be beautiful, but they can demand a better behavior. For example, don't get close to men if you see something that makes you have a bad opinion about them, even if it's just a little thing. You shouldn't tolerate it. You should ask a man to be more than what he is, so that any relationship between you and the man should be really justified, and he should deserve you with everything he does. You shouldn't go out with someone just because there's nobody else around or stuff like that. I mean, really, only take what's best for you and demand from a man to be a real man, not just a guy looking to use you and get on with the next one. And a man, if he's a real man, they have to learn to control their male part and think with their upper head. Because if they cannot do that, what's the difference between a man and an animal, for example? Animals, they cannot control their passions and feelings, but humans and man,